Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of cases that should have gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. Today, we're talking about class actions. Cases that should have gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. Lisa D'Amico was a person who was attempting to initiate a class action on behalf of people who were receiving a certain disability pension in Quebec. The class action didn't seek necessarily monetary damages, although that was one element of it, but the thing that the litigants were most concerned about was a declaration about the law that they were seeking from the court. Ultimately, the Quebec court determined that they couldn't bring their action as a class action because it wouldn't be appropriate to do so as a result of the fact that declaratory relief was available through another mechanism. Ms. D'Amico sought leave to appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada, and leave was dismissed. This case raises very important issues, because although declaratory relief may be available as a remedy in an individual action, the whole point of class action litigation is try to minimize the number of similar claims that are brought before the court. So you don't want to have thousands of claims filed about the same issue in order to speed up the court process and in order to make things more efficient. It allows a judge to focus on the issues at hand rather than having what is known as a multiplicity of proceedings. Unfortunately, the rule about class actions is typically only applied where people are seeking monetary damages. So class actions, when it comes to declaratory relief, are very rare and something that the courts really have not given a lot of consideration to. But it's important for courts to give declaratory relief, in my opinion, through the mechanism of class actions, and for the Supreme Court of Canada to give some commentary on this. And the reason for that is that for each individual person who is seeking a declaration that the law is wrong or that they've been wronged by operation of an improper law, that declaration is the remedy that they want. It's the thing that's going to make them feel right about what happened to them. A declaration in another person's case may not have the same emotional impact that somebody who's spending the amount of expense and time and effort of bringing a lawsuit is seeking when they're bringing it, which is why a class action is an appropriate vehicle for this, even though it's not the traditional vehicle for obtaining declaratory relief about a law. In the circumstances, the Supreme Court of Canada should have recognized that litigation isn't always about money and the outcome of the case as far as the legal proceeding. It's also about the people who are involved and the interests of those people. And one of the things that's in the national importance is that people perceive our justice system as being available to them to get a remedy that's going to make sense to them and going to make them feel whole. And by limiting the types of remedies, the court effectively opened it up to having thousands of lawsuits brought to seek the same declaration, which is the very thing that class action litigation was designed to avoid. The Supreme Court of Canada could have remedied this and probably could have saved hundreds of hours of court time in the future for all the people who feel compelled to bring these types of cases, rather than having one class action that will give relief to each individual person all at once. Unfortunately, it's going to take another case where something is trying to proceed as a class action and may or may not get the opportunity to do so before the Supreme Court of Canada recognizes that litigation is more than just the plain facts of the law and the facts of the case, and also involves the emotions of the people who are involved. Cases that should have gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cases That Should Have Gone to the Supreme Court of Canada, but didn't. I'm Kyla Lee at Acumen Law Corporation. Thank you to Brazen Bull Creative for putting together these videos. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends.